Have you ever heard of Ozark Futurism? If not, you're not alone. As of 2026, it's one of America's most fascinating underground cultural movements, a unique blend of science fiction, experimental art, and deep regional heritage, all born from the rugged hills and hollows of the Ozark Plateau. This isn't your typical sci-fi. Forget gleaming spaceships and generic alien planets. Ozark Futurism is hyperbolical, deeply weird, and absolutely captivating. It asks, what does the future look like from a limestone bluff overlooking the White River? What happens when ancient folklore meets the digital age? Let's start with the sound. The auditory heart of this movement can be found on Bandcamp under a project called Zeroantartica. This isn't just music. It's a sonic exploration of what they call Ozark soundscapes. Imagine the chirping of cicadas on a hot summer night, the rush of a spring-fed creek, the whisper of wind through oak and hickory trees. Now, imagine those natural sounds woven together with deep, resonant electronic drones and shimmering synthesizers. The result is an atmosphere that feels both primeval and futuristic, like listening to a radio broadcast from 1,000 years in the past and 1,000 years in the future, all at once. It captures the very soul of the Ozarks, a land that feels ancient, yet is constantly changing. But Ozark's futurism isn't just about sound, it's also about stories. And in these hills, stories often come with teeth. Enter the Bull Shoals boogeyman. This isn't your grandpa's Ozark howler or Gauro. This is a modern mythological creature, a cryptid for the digital age. It represents a bridge between the old fireside tales of mysterious beasts lurking in the woods and the contemporary anxieties of our hyper-connected world. Think of it as a blend of local legend and creepypasta, a figure that embodies the region's relationship with the unknown. Is it a flesh and blood creature, a psychic manifestation, or something else entirely? That ambiguity is exactly the point. It's folklore evolving in real time, a monster born from the tension between tradition and tomorrow. This evolution of tradition is a core theme. Take the artist known as Hillbilly Guittard. The term hillbilly has a long and complicated history, often used to dismiss the people of Appalachia and the Ozarks. But here, it's being reclaimed and redefined. Hillbilly Guittard represents the fusion of traditional Ozark musicianship with modern digital platforms. You might hear the familiar, soulful sound of a fiddle or a flat-pick guitar, but it's being shared on YouTube, remixed on SoundCloud, or streamed live to a global audience. This isn't about preserving the past in amber. It's about making it a living, breathing part of the present. It proves that tradition isn't static. It can interface with new technology, find new audiences, and evolve in ways our ancestors never could have imagined. Perhaps the most enigmatic and compelling project within Ozark's futurism is a narrative series called The Night the Ozarks Learned to Hum. You can find episodes of this on YouTube, and they are truly something else. The series explores a legendary event, a sort of fictionalized history, centered around the moment electrical power and early radio technology first reached the isolated mountain communities. But instead of framing it as simple modernization, the story presents it as a supernatural, almost alien occurrence. The introduction of the electrical grid becomes a tuning of the very land itself. The hum of the transformers, the crackle of the first radio signals, these aren't just industrial noises. They are a new vibration, a cosmic frequency that alters the fabric of reality in the hills. Did humanity bring this change, or did it awaken something that was already sleeping deep within the ancient rock? The series leaves you wondering, blurring the lines between historical fact, technological progress, and otherworldly mystery. It's a brilliant way of looking at our relationship with technology, not just as a tool, but as a force that can fundamentally change our perception of the world. So what holds all these strange and wonderful ideas together? There are a few key pillars to Ozark's futurism. The first is what we could call technological ruin and renewal. Think of the ghost towns scattered throughout the region, like Rush, Arkansas, once a booming zinc mining town, now silent and slowly being reclaimed by nature. Ozark Futurism doesn't see these places merely as relics of a failed industrial past. Instead, it reimagines them as the foundation for a post-industrial future. What new societies could spring up in these abandoned structures? What strange technologies could be built from the scraps of the old world, powered by the rivers and the sun? It's a vision of a future that isn't about starting from scratch, but about building something new on the bones of what came before. The second pillar is hyper-regionalism. This is a powerful rejection of the generic, one-size-fits-all science fiction we see so often. The stories, sounds, and art of Ozark's futurism could not exist anywhere else. They are tied to the specific geography and ecology of the region. The limestone and chert, the karst topography with its caves and springs, the unique flora and fauna. The future imagined here isn't set in a sterile, chrome-plated city, but in a world where futuristic technology is integrated with, and sometimes overgrown by, the dense Ozark wilderness. It's a future that feels organic, grounded, and deeply authentic to its place. Finally, the third and most vital pillar is what I like to call Folklore 2.0. This is all about using modern digital tools to keep the region's rich oral traditions alive. For generations, the stories and songs of the Ozarks were passed down from person to person, a living chain of memory. Today, that chain is becoming digital. Projects like the Songs of the Ozark series feature local experts and tradition bearers like Jeff Michelle and Hawken Boldman, whose knowledge is captured and shared through video and audio recordings. This isn't just archival work. It's an active reinterpretation. Digital platforms allow these old stories and songs to be remixed, recontextualized, and shared with a global audience, ensuring they don't just survive, but thrive and evolve for a new generation. So Ozark Futurism is more than just a quirky art movement. It's a way of looking at the future through a very specific and very powerful lens. It's a testament to the idea that the future doesn't just belong to the major metropolitan centers. It's also being dreamed up in the quiet, overlooked corners of the world, in places with a deep connection to their land and their history. It reminds us that our own local heritage, wherever we may be, is a powerful source of inspiration for imagining the worlds of tomorrow. It's a movement that's raw, experimental, and incredibly exciting. If you're tired of the same old sci-fi tropes, I highly recommend you dive down the rabbit hole. Start with Zeroantartica on Bandcamp, search for The Night the Ozarks Learned to Hum on YouTube, and just let yourself get lost in the strange and beautiful future being built in the hills. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this exploration of a unique cultural movement, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives, and let me know in the comments what other underground art scenes you think we should cover next. See you in the next one.